Hello there, my name is Sebastian and today we're going to be looking at the basics for HTML programming. So welcome to HTML School. Now the first thing we're going to be looking at today is Div Boxes, because Div Box is the very essentials of doing anything in HTML. Now you declare them as so. You start out with an opening bracket. This is the opening bracket, and right here is the closing bracket. Okay, so you start out with an opening bracket and you then declare its name, and it's a div. So obviously you write div. And then you do some other thing behind that. We'll just get to that in a minute. And then you end the box with a closing bracket, as you see right here. Okay. Then that is the opening statement for the div box. So then to end it, we go open bracket, and then we do a slash. And because I'm using Dreamweaver, it will automatically finish my sentence here. But what I would have to do is go opening bracket slash, and then say I'm closing the div, and then the ending brackets, okay? So that is how you open and close a div box. Now to set the properties for a div box, you have to do a sentence called style. Now that you put with a space in between to div, and then you space it, and then style equals and two quotes, okay? So you put it in quotes, whatever you want to do in here. Now, the first thing I like to start out with doing is width. So we set the width to something, so let's set it to 120 pixels. Remember the px. So what I did there was going width and then a colon and then 120 pixels and then semicolon. And then in space, the semicolon is just to end that sentence. So now it has set the width of it. Now we need to set a height. So it needs some height here. So we'll just give it, let's say 240 pixels. Now, just so we can see it here, we'll have to do some kind of color for it. Now the very basic is going to just call it background color, and we'll just take a black color here. And we'll say hashtag 000. That is the name for a black color. And then you see right there. Now because I'm on Dreamweaver, I can actually show you how it would look on a website. You would have to put the HTML into your browser and then do it from there. But I can show you in the view here to your right. So you can see the box right here. That is how it will look on your screen. So that is a div box in its essentials. Now, we can put things into a div box, and we can also put a div box into a div box, but that is a little more complicated. Now, we'll color it gray, and then we go and do a text box. Now, the text box I usually use are paragraphs. So we do an opening bracket, and then type in P for paragraph, and then a closing bracket. And then because when we open a statement, we also have to close the statement. So then opening brackets and slash, and then because I'm using Dreamweaver, it will finish my sentence here. So it knows I'm trying to close the P, the paragraph. Now into this paragraph, we'll just put hello world. There you go. And then we go into your view on the right, and you'll see it puts it right into the div box itself. You know how to put things into a div box now. As you are programming along, you will see that this was very simple. It didn't take any time, and it works every single time. Div boxes are very, very basic. Now let's, just for fun, move this into the middle of your screen. If you have any idea of how to do this, please do it before me. Everyone else, you can just sit tight and wait. This is for fun. Okay, so if you've done it, I say we put it into center. So we just type in center, opening brackets, type center, closing brackets, and then go down to where it closes the other div. So you see, we open a statement called center. So opening brackets, center, closing brackets, and then we open the div box right here. That's this line right here. So mark it, and then we do a paragraph into that, and then we end the div box. So because we declared the center box before the div, we have to close the div before the center. So as you see, the thing that we put on the outside will be the thing to be closed last. So if we do a center and div, we have to close it div and center. It's very simple once you get the hang of it. Let's put that into split view, and we see that it moved the text. Now if we put this into our browser, we will see that it did put it into, let me just put it right here. I'm just going to save it as Untitled 9. Yeah, that's a brilliant name. And here we go. This is the view of it in the browser. And as you see, we have put a div box, which is about the same size as in the split view. And we have the text centered in the div box, and we also have the div box centered on our screen. And if we didn't do this center thing, we can actually remove it. Let's remove it just for fun and see how it would look without the center. So we'll save this, and then we go into our browser and we refresh it, and you see it pops out to the left side. Now let's, just for fun, put this div box to the right side. Now we do this by, say, float and then right, and then we'll save it again, and we go in, and you'll see now it is positioned by the right side. Now you may think, oh, but I want my div box to be in the center, but I want it to be like pushed down a bit. Okay, I say, okay, fine, we can do that. We can do that for you. So now we're doing custom position for the div box. Okay, so how you do this, very simple, is you go margin, and then from where? So we say margin from the top. So now we'll push it down, and we say about 120 pixels. Okay, so now it's both centered and pushed down 120 pixels. Let's see this. So refresh it, and there you go. It's been pushed down 120 pixels. Now, of course, we can also go into negative. So if we say we wanted to push it to the top and then negative 20 pixels, when you put it into center normally, it would be placed a little below the limit of where a site is. So it'll be pushed down a little bit, and we can put it into negative to margin to the top and then move it up a bit. So let's see that. And then it's pushed, and it's actually been pushed a little bit too much now. We can see we can push it to the limit of our browser. So we can just correct that as this, and say negative 10 pixels, and then it'll be right here. That's nice. Now we might want to do this a little bigger. So let's just put this up to, let's say, about 620 by 840. And then we want to do a little headline inside of this. So it's like a little news article we just did here. So we go H, and then we choose a size. So from 1 is the biggest to 6, that's the lowest, and then there's a normal paragraph. So we just go about a 2. Let's go for a 2. Okay, H2, and then we say hello again, and then some yeah. Oh, there you go. And we close the H2, and we go into our browser, and we can see it. Now we did enlarge the div box, and it has reflected on here. And now it says hello again, and then it says hello world. So as predicted here, and you can experiment a little bit with these texts and all, and with the colors as well, and with the size of your div box, and now also with the position of your div box. Now for some text. Now we can do some fun things with text as well. If we say we wanted this to be aligned with the left side, now what it'll do, it'll push the text to the left side. So now you can see the text is positioned on the left of our div box. And it knows it's on the left because of the div box limit. It is still within the div box, so it can't go outside that box. So saying position or align with the left side, it will align with the limit of it. Now if we say, okay, I don't want it to be exactly at the limit of the div box, and we wanted to push it out, we want it aligned with the left, but we want it pushed out a little bit, we could go margin from the left, and then set a value, so let's say 20 pixels, okay, just for fun. And then we go in and we refresh, and we see it's been pushed out a little bit. Now that's for fun. Let's go in and create a div box within our div box, okay? So we go in and we declare a new div. As we learned before, we go div, and then we choose this, we choose style for it. Oh, and we learn to spell style. And then we choose style for it, and then we set the width and the height for it. So I want the width to be the same as our full div box, and then I want the height to be a bit lower than that. So we want it to be around about, let's say, let's just choose 420. Okay, and then we set the background color, so we can differentiate between what is what here. We set that to a white, nice one, and then we end this box here. Now we want this to be within the other div box, so we have to end it before we end the other div box. So we have to end it right here. So we just end it like that. Now as we see, it will be positioned right here. It will split up this little div box that we made before. As you can see, it has limits. You can't really tell its limits because it's, let's change the color here to, let's choose some random digits. There you go. That should be, yeah, that's a green. That's very nice. As you can see, the border for our new div box is the same as our other div box, and that is because we set the width as the same as the other one. If we set the new div box width bigger than the other one as at the grey one here, it would cut it off, so it wouldn't be any bigger than the other one. It would just cut it off. Okay, so that is how you would put a div box within a div box. And as you can see, if you go into background, you can also just choose image, and you can put in whatever image you have. Let us put in here. Here's a nice blue one. Okay. So if we remove this background color, there you go, and just plug in this new little image, it will just change to that image. Now this image was just a blue box with a little bit of a gradient overlay, as you might be able to tell. That is just it. That's what that was. Okay. So that's how you do a background image. You just go background image, and then it gives you, if you're in Dreamviewer, it gives you the opportunity to choose to browse your document, so you won't have to type in the exact coordinates of where it is on your computer. It will just be able to browse it. So that's how you do that. You open the div box and you end it as well, as we learned before. So you can see here, we ended right here. Now I hope you all watching did program along, so that you learned something from this, and hopefully it was useful to you in some way. I will be doing many more tutorials on this, because HTML is one of my favorite programs to program in. As you can tell, I have a lot of little pages open here. Don't mind those, I'll get to them later. I hope you enjoyed either way. My name is Sebastian, and this was HTML School. Thank you for watching, and bye.